Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and its community here on COD Zombies HQ. Thank you so much for tuning in today, where we've got a lot to talk about. Major warning for any zombies player that's thinking about playing the Liberty Falls Zombies map anytime soon. Leaked details surrounding new DLC perks that will likely be added to Black Ops 6 Zombies that are absolutely sorely needed. A whole bunch more crazy clips you absolutely have to see, and we'll finish things off with Outbreak versus Vehicles. So without further ado, let's get right into our first story of the day. And a big warning if you decide to play Liberty Falls Zombies, where a large number of players are having their games effectively ruined and ended when they play on this map right now. Players are discovering that if you're hanging around a common camo grinding spot on the map in the bowling lanes, and you decide to hop over the ball return machine on the stamina up side, you will get stuck in this position permanently. For whatever reason, when you hop over this machine, the game thinks you're in a spot that you shouldn't be, where it starts saying that you can't stand here and results in you being unable to move. As of right now, if this happens to you or one of your friends in their own game, there is only one strategy that works to get out of this glitch, and it is wacky. You have to change your in-game settings to cap out your FPS at 30 FPS. You do that, and then you get a mangler to fire its cannon at you. Then, and only then, with those two conditions met, will it push you out of this glitch spot, enabling you to play the game and not totally end it. Just incredibly weird. Definitely don't bait your friends into this glitch spot. They won't be very happy with you. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Several prominent Call of Duty leakers have been reporting that assets relating to several fan-favorite zombies perks have been found within the files of Black Ops 6. Focus being on two major perk jingles being found within the game files, that being for Double Tap Root Beer and for Mule Kick. While these jingles alone being found in the game files don't automatically confirm they're coming to the game, as there has been many a case of leftover assets from prior zombies games that never end up getting released. With these two specifically, there is a lot to talk about here. So let's start by talking about the perk that is almost guaranteed to be added into Black Ops 6 Zombies at some point in this game's life cycle, probably sooner rather than later, and that being the perk Mule Kick. As a standard, the reason we know that this perk will be coming to Black Ops 6 isn't because of content found in the game files, although it definitely does support it, but it's actually from Treyarch themselves. Specifically from Zombies YouTuber Codename Pizza, who by the way just reached what I like to call the Zombies Jubilee here on YouTube, reaching 935,115 subscribers, so congrats to him. But when he was invited to play Black Ops 6 Zombies early over at Treyarch HQ, he had a chance to talk with the Zombies developers themselves, and this is what they had to say when he brought up the topic of Mule Kick.
So I said to a dev, so is there just no Mule Kick? And he replied saying, on which map? And I said, Terminus, and he went, no, you've just played it, you've seen. And I didn't think anything of that until now, where now I'm starting to think maybe there's a Mule Kick machine on Liberty Falls, or at least in a future DLC.
Definitely a very Treyarch way to point to a fan favorite perk returning in the future. But that's not the only reference to Mule Kick Treyarch put in Black Ops 6 so far. When you grab stamina up, your operator has a chance to say this.
Woohoo! That kicks like a mule!
And honestly guys, with the addition of Mule Kick making perfect sense for this game, though it might not right off the bat, I have seen some players talking about how Mule Kick will be entirely useless in Black Ops 6. For the very few of you that aren't aware, the base effect of Mule Kick lets you hold 3 primary weapons at the same time. But a lot of players are noticing that in this game, more so than in Cold War, ammo seems to be the biggest problem when it comes to later rounds in this game, where you're seemingly having to buy ammo so often, quite difficult to get 2 primary weapons up to PAP level 3. So good luck trying to get a 3rd weapon up Pack-a-Punch to a level that it's even usable. But we have to hop in a Cold War to find why this perk will be useful when it comes to Black Ops 6, and that will have to do with the augment research of the perk itself, to which we can look at the Cold War upgrades for this perk, where at level 1 in that game, crafted equipment grants additional equipment. If available, you build one decoy, you get two, but the second upgrade results in all enemies having a small chance to drop ammo. If you played a lot of Cold War, ammo could be a problem in that game too, but when Treyarch introduced Mule Kick into the game with this upgrade, ammo stopped becoming a bigger problem, because regular zombies would drop ammo in a similar way to how the manglers drop ammo, often enough that you didn't really have to worry about it anymore. When Mule Kick comes to this game, I would really expect Treyarch to include this upgrade as an augment effect of this perk that you can research and then equip. But now let's talk about the perk that has been torn away and missing from the hearts of zombies players for over half a decade at this point. It is the perk Double Tap, which at its base increased the fire rate of your weapon by 33%, and in its 2.0 version, increased damage by essentially firing 2 projectiles for every shot. Back in Black Ops 3, the last game we saw Double Tap in its true form, Treyarch knew just how powerful it was. They called it a crutch perk, one you can't live without in a zombies mode, and largely because of that, we haven't seen it since. Now, there was a decent chance that Double Tap would have been brought back in Cold War. It was in the file. The perk can in Cold War style was in the game too, but Treyarch decided not to release it. And the reason they didn't release it is likely because of this right here. Now, I'm not sure how many of you remember, but back in Cold War Zombies, part of the reason it became so easy for so many players was because you can use your Ethereum crystals to unlock permanent damage upgrades, granting things like 25% close quarters damage, 25% extra crit damage that always persists no matter what perks you have, effectively replacing the damage increase effects of Double Tap, to the point where back in Cold War, the perk honestly wasn't really needed. But here in Black Ops 6 Zombies, that obviously has changed. Bullet weapons fall off in damage very quickly, there is no permanent upgrade system for a base increase of damage like we saw back in Cold War, and all of a sudden, there starts to be a purpose for Double Tap again. The one caveat to that is most weapons in this game do have an increased fire rate weapon mod that you can slap on to mimic the effects of Double Tap's increase of your fire rate, but beyond that, it doesn't really help your damage all that much. While Mule Kick is basically confirmed to be coming as a future perk in this game, Double Tap at this time remains well and truly up in the air, and I'm very interested and very hopeful that Treyarch will decide that now is the right time to bring it back. Next up, an absolutely insane spot was discovered on Liberty Falls by Zombies player No Chipmunk over on Reddit. After he papped his shoddy to level 3 and was going to run outside the church, he tried to jump over some debris, but instead got smacked all the way up to the second level of the church itself. I haven't seen any players manage to get up to this location before. I would imagine if you do this during the boss fight, it would make that fight an absolute cinch, and it seems like the only reason he was able to get up here in the first place is that a combination of jumping over a ledge, sliding off that ledge at exactly the right moment, then having the mangler that was right beside him do his melee attack on you results in you getting flung like a doll across the map, in this case ending up in the second story. It'll be interesting to see if any of you can recreate this in your own game, because yeah, this spot would just be incredibly overpowered. Next up, I really got a kick out of this, where He's a Spy over on Reddit was playing some Liberty Falls, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a huge gas cloud started to approach him and chase him all the way back to the Juggernog machine. Well, kinda. I have to admit, this is probably one of the scariest visual glitches I've seen in Black Ops 6 so far. I don't know why, but this massive gray blob that chases the player is somehow more terrifying than the zombies itself. And honestly, I'm just really thankful he didn't walk into the cloud itself in this clip, because, well, there's no telling what could have happened then. But okay, it is finally time for the latest edition of Zombies vs. Vehicles, featuring our boy Raptor 1 once again, this time on Liberty Falls, where after the players hop in the chopper, he decides to sink through the floor. He's got a vault to open, baby, leaving our players stranded on the roof. But in this case, our players maintain control of the ability to fire their weapons. So the guys with the ray guns just start firing it off at the zombies zombies around him, the ARs start opening up, but it seems like no matter how hard they try, these zombies are invincible in this state. I've been seeing a lot of this happen recently, although for some consolation, I have seen that if it happens to you in your game, I'm pretty sure you'll still maintain your exfil bonuses when you leave the game. Well, that wraps up the news today, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, consider leaving a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and by the way, a bunch of you have asked me this, if something crazy happens in your own game that you want to share with me, you can do that by tagging me in the vid over on Twitter, or if you want to share it with the community, the COD Zombies Reddit is also a fantastic source for you to do that. I'll include a link in the description too. But that wraps up the news today, and I'll see you with another Zombies news update tomorrow. Peace.